Kuzambula. Firstly, to introduce myself, I am Ugyen Tashi, and previously I've worked with the Department of Industry under Ministry of Economic Affairs, looking after the industrial development of medium and large industries. So today, basically, I'll be presenting my paper, which is on the distribution system of maize in Bhutan towards an undisrupted food supply chain, understanding the current market distribution system of maize in Bhutan. And to begin with the research objectives, as we all know that an efficient market distribution system is necessary in the food supply chain process to meet the demand of both domestic and international markets. So in line with the importance, I've taken this study with the objectives to examine and describe the current market distribution practice of maize in Bhutan, on how the current market distribution practices is functioning as of now in Bhutan, and to assess the governance support of the post-harvest marketing and distribution measures, generally to find out different supports provided by the government to the maize growers at various stages, and thirdly, to identify appropriate interventions that can be adopted by the relevant organizations in improving the distribution system of maize in Bhutan based on the findings of my research. With regard to the area of my study, as you see in the map, I've chosen 5 songkhaks, those highlighted in white, and 4 regional agriculture development and research centers, which is highlighted in yellow. I've chosen these 5 songkhaks, Samsi, Tagana, Dashigang, Mongar and Pemakatsal, based on the top 5 highest maize production songkhaks in the year 2020 as per the agriculture statistics, and 4 agriculture research and development centers of Yespang in Thimphu, Paju in Wangdi, Wenkar in Mongar, and Samtiling in Sarvang were selected as they function as the 4 regional offices of the Department of Agriculture. To talk about the research framework, this picture here gives a broad overview of the framework of my study that I have adopted. So it basically started with the text review, which was then followed by survey. And for survey, I used convenient sampling method, and questionnaires were framed as per the objectives of my research, and also consultations were made with relevant organizations of my target group in order to gather in-depth understanding of the subject. So my study is qualitative in nature. In line with the framework, I've gathered information to analyze the findings of my research, and obviously the output that I've been able to generate to understand the maize distribution system of Bhutan, and some of the recommendations that I could provide in line with the finding of my research were really impressive. Before sharing the findings of my research, I would like to give an overview of maize for your general information. Maize is a very important staple crop, prominently grown in the 6 major eastern songkhaks of Bhutan, occupying over 46% of the cultivated total area, and makes huge contributions towards the national food and nutrition security. Maize is grown at an altitude ranging from less than 300 meter up to 3000 meter above sea level. The planting time of maize varies with altitude. Generally, it starts by the end of February or during the beginning of the first Bhutanese month, and the harvesting starts by the end of August month. Maize is a dry land crop and purely grain-fed, and 70% of the households in Bhutan cultivate maize in subsistence scale to ensure household food security. And about the varieties of maize, there are 5 different varieties of maize in Bhutan, which are Yangtsipa, Jaskarpa, Shapangma, Bur Ashom, and Wenkar STM1, and those in brackets are the scientific names followed by the year, which shows when these different varieties of maize were released by the research centers. And now to share the findings of my research, and to begin with the production of maize by songkhak. This graph here shows the production of maize by songkhak in terms of sown area, harvest area, and by production in terms of metric tons. The Department of Agriculture reported a total production of slightly more than 40,000 metric tons of maize in the year 2020, from a total of 31,812 sown acres of land and 27,944 acres of harvested areas across all 20 songkhaks. The top 5 songkhaks with the maximum maize production are Mongar, Dashigang, Samsi, Pemakatsal and Tagana, with a production of 23,000, 21,000, 13,000 and 11,000 metric tons of maize. The lowest production was reported in Pumtang, Kasa in Thimphu at 0.40 metric tons, 1.28 and 2.85 metric tons. So seeing the data, it can be analyzed that maize production is dominated by the eastern regions compared to other parts of the country. And now to share the maize production trend, this line graph shows the trend of maize production from the year 2016 to 2020 in terms of total production, which is based on the consolidated production of all 20 Songkhaks. So looking at the trend, there is an increase in the production from 2016 to 2017. However, there is a decline in the production from 2017 onwards. And now to talk about the cost of production of crops at the national level. It has been estimated that the highest cost of production at the national level is incurred for quinoa at 75 per kilogram, and it has the lowest total yield of 300 kilogram per acre, whereas the lowest cost of production at the national level is incurred for maize at 19 per kilogram, and it has the highest total yield of 1386 kilogram per acre. And the second figure here, it shows the cost of production at the regional level. The highest cost of production for maize is incurred at Samtenling region at the cost of 28 per kilogram, with the lowest yield of 925 kg per acre. And the Songkhaks, which falls under the Samtenling region of Sarpang, Samchi, Samruzongkar, Tongsa and Shimgang. And the lowest cost of production for maize is incurred at Baju region at the cost of 13 per kilogram, with the highest yield of 1893 kilogram per acre. And the Songkhak, which falls under the Baju region, are Wangdi, Punakha, Chirang, Dagana and Kasa. So looking at the import statistics of maize, as per the latest records of Bhutan trade statistics, it was recorded that a total of over 20 million kg of maize and other related products were imported from India at the cost of over 315 million. A total of more than 8,000 kg was imported from countries other than India at the cost of 0.7 million. In total, over 316 million worth of maize and other related products were imported from India and from countries other than India, as per the trade statistics of 2020. So looking at the statistics that I've obtained from the Food Corporation of Bhutan, FCB buys agricultural products from the farmers, which they say is directly from source, and they distribute to their customers under the buyback scheme initiated by the government. So as per the figures, FCB purchased a total of 168 metric ton of maize from the farmers at the cost of 2.42 million, which is starting from the year 2016 to 2020 under the scheme. So the products were directly distributed and supplied to Karma Feeds, which is one of the largest animal feeds manufacturer industry in the country. So through this, a net profit of 0.98 million was generated by FCB over the period of 5 years from buying maize directly from farmers and distributing to Karma Feeds. This figure basically shows the maize market distribution channel developed based on the findings of my research and based on the observations of survey and other secondary sources. So it shows that there are 3 different channels of distribution after harvest of maize. The first channel is for the personal consumption of the maize growers themselves, for processing of ara, karang, dengma, fodder and for other consumption purposes. The second channel, it comprises of direct sales system, wherein maize growers sell their maize and its products within their village, roadside and other local markets. And the third channel being the direct sale facilitated through the Songkhak Agriculture Office and Department of Agriculture and Marketing cooperatives in the large industries and companies like FCB, Karma Feeds and Army Welfare Project. So in addition, I would also like to share some general findings that I've observed from my work. So the first one, maize is generally cultivated for self-consumption, with only surplus being sold in the market. So therefore, we can conclude that majority of the maize growers in Bhutan cultivate maize for self-consumption and not for commercial purpose. And the second one is, unlike in the global practice, there are no middlemen or intermediaries in the maize supply chain. In our practice, farmers themselves play the role of middlemen in the food supply chain. So in Bhutan, government organizations such as Songkhak Agriculture Office, Department of Agriculture Marketing and Cooperatives, RNR Extension Offices, National Post Harvest Center, National Seed Center plays an important role in the process of maize supply and value chain. So they facilitate all support to the maize growers. So as per the findings of my research and as per the secondary sources, it can be argued that in Bhutan, the market distribution system is still underdeveloped, with no proper linkages between producer and the consumer, and lack of strategic plans for the development of maize, and also post-harvest losses arising from the pests and poor quality of storage is one of the major problems faced by our maize growers in Bhutan. So in line with the findings of my research, I would like to submit the following recommendations. The first one is, commercial production of maize needs to be encouraged among the farmers. Though there are demand for maize and its products in the industries and the regional markets, maize growers are not able to supply as per the requirement. And the other one is, the Department of Agriculture and Marketing cooperatives should strengthen and consolidate maximum number of cooperatives in all the Songkhaks to ensure that large quantities of agricultural and livestock products are gathered to facilitate smooth functioning of the cooperatives as per the market demand and ease the burden of individual farmers in the marketing their produce. The third one, the National Maize Program, which is based in Vancouver, should develop long-term plans and strategies regarding the development of maize in terms of production and product diversification through intense action research. The other recommendation would be, in future, with the growth of maize production, the relevant organizations should pursue and strengthen linkages with the Department of School Education in supplying maize crits and other maize products in the school feeding program in order to promote and encourage high demand of maize in every school of the localities. Post-harvest losses are one of the major issues that farmers face due to poor storage facilities. Loss of yields to pests is another challenge that is prominent in all of the maize growing farmers. In view of the National Post-Harvest Center should continue to advocate farmers on how to tackle the issues and provide other forms of support through infrastructure and other mechanisms. So last but not the least, since Tema and Karam, two of local maize products, are popular and demanded by consumers, relevant organizations should assist farmers and maize producers to purchase machines and technologies for at subsidized rates, so that these two products will achieve economics of scale. Additionally, product labeling and packaging must be enhanced to make these products competitive and attractive in the market, not limited to local but also international. And also, loans and microfinance at low interest rates should be facilitated to help farmers who produce this means. So that's it. Thank you.